last 5 videos, some of those you might have thought, if you've watched them, that some of the info might be slightly out of date. I filmed them all, I think, on the 23rd of July, so I've not filmed any for the last couple of weeks, even though they've been being released. Today's the 5th of August, so pretty up to date again now. Gonna film a few today, I think, now that I've got some spare time. I do want to get these videos out before the start of the season, so I think I've got about 10 to do in the next week, so might get to the point. They're going to be every day, definitely now. Might have to do a couple a day sometimes, but we'll get to it. We'll get to it. What I have been trying to do, guys, is you might think, God, sometimes he releases them after a day, sometimes it's 3 days. I don't know where I'm at, because I'm sad. I've been trying to wait until they get to 100 views as a minimum. So once they get to 100 views, I release the next one. So incentive, guys, if you get the vids to 100 views, I'll just release the next one. So we could have, more than one a day that way, if you can hook a brother up. But today we are moving on to Leicester. Now, Leicester, I am a big fan of Leicester. You might hear me say that a lot about a lot of teams. I am a Man United fan, obviously, as you can see. As I've mentioned before, I'm just not one of these tribal people. I'm like an easygoing guy, man. That's just me. I love football. I love football. I like seeing teams do well. Obviously, I want Man United to be top all the time. But, for example, when Man United were out the running in the season that Leicester were winning the league, obviously, I was rooting for Leicester. I was an honorary Leicester fan. They were my second team that year because United were out of it. So, because I'm sure we all loved that. It was great. And you know what? Brendan Rodgers, for me, has done a cracking job. People say, oh, last 2 seasons in a row, he's just missed out on top 4. Towards the end, he's a bottler. The stakes are high, man, and it's tough going out there. It's tough going out there. To get in the top 4 nowadays is a big old ask. He's done a good job with Leicester. He has done a good job with Leicester, no doubt about it. So, let's dive on into it. Departures then. They've let a long-serving player go. Christian Fuchs, been a cracking player for them. He was in the title-winning team. I'm sure he was. in the title-winning team. If I'm wrong, let me know, but I'm pretty sure he was. So he's been there a good number of years. 35 now, though. Gone on a free to Charlotte Independence. I think they're in the 2nd tier in America. So, no big miss. He didn't play lots of games last year. He's getting on. Matty James on a free to Bristol City. No big miss, even though he's been with them a long time. And El Capitano, Wes Morgan, the big man, finally retired. No disrespect, he's been a great servant for them, but nowadays he's not a footballing miss for them. They'll miss him in the dressing room now. I've not even seen if he's still stayed around. I'm sure I heard a rumour that he's gone into being an agent, actually, which is interesting. I might be wrong on that, though. Arrivals then. They've had another great summer so far, as far as I'm concerned. Patson Daka, 27 mil from Red Bull Salzburg. He's only 22. Scored a bagful. I know it's Salzburg, but he did. 28 games, 27 goals, 4 assists. Can't ask for more than that. And he's been scoring in pre-season already for them in Leicester, I think, as well. So, good times. And then they've also signed Boubakary Soumare, also 22, 18 mil from Lille. Just won the league at Lille. Now, Man United were linked with him around January time, so I've kept my eye on him a little bit. Tidy little player. Plays in he often plays kind of more of a 6 rather than an 8, but he is decent on the ball. He's an athlete. His defensive qualities perhaps aren't as good as, say, the likes of a Camavinga, who he gets compared to a fair amount, I think. But he is an athlete, and I think he'll develop that side of his game. They've also signed Ryan Bertrand on a free from Southampton, who's 31, but on a free. That's a cracking bit of business for me. He'll come in straight away as backup. It's good business. Really good summer for them. Contracts expiring. They're not in a difficult place for next summer. Rashid Ghezal. I think they'll try and sell him this summer, or he'll just go on a free next year. And Daniel Amarty's only 26. I think they'll give him a new deal this summer. On the basis of his versatility. He's very versatile, he can play a number of positions. Centre back, left back, right back, centre mid, even filling on the wing. So I think on that basis he'll probably get a new deal. Now, Rodgers is historically, with Leicester, played the 4-3-3, and we know that with the kind of 2-3-8s, they get forward a lot, but they work very hard. That's been a staple of his team. He switched to the 3-4-1-2 a lot last season as well, but I'm not convinced that that's like a big tactical shift for him in terms of how he now wants to play. I think he likes having that as an option, but I think a lot of this was down to personnel and injuries. So I'm very intrigued to see what he's going to do this coming season. I think if you notice, when Harvey Barnes got injured, he perhaps didn't trust his wide players as much, and so he's reverted to that 3-4-1-2, particularly with how well Fofana was doing and how well the fullbacks were doing. So, being able to play Evans, Soyuncu and Fofana together was very solid, and then your width coming from the likes of Pereira when he came back and Castagna. He perhaps trusts the likes of Pereira and Castagna to provide his width and his attacking thrust out wide, more so than the likes of an ageing Mark Albrighton, who did fill in at wing back, by the way, quite a bit, but also maybe than the likes of Perez out wide, players like that. And that meant that he could play with, Ndidi and Tielemans, with Maddison or Perez sometimes, just in behind two strikers, and obviously Iheanacho started to do incredibly well as well. So I think it was based upon where he felt his best players were. So he had two good strikers, he had good fullbacks, not so many good attacking forward players out wide, and great centre backs. And I think that was what led him to the 3-4-1-2. So I'd be very interested to see what he does most of the time this season. But I think now that they've got both systems cemented, we will see a combination. I'm just mostly interested to see what he does the majority of the time. Squad then, goalkeeping wise, we've got obviously the big man, Kasper Schmeichel. We've got Danny Ward and Goalkeepers. Now Danny Ward's a great backup for me, signed for 12 mil from Liverpool. I'm surprised he's not wanted more. Obviously did really well for Wales in the Euros, so solid backup. Kasper Schmeichel was statistically the 16th best keeper in the league last year, so not one of the better ones. However, again, similar to Thiago Silva, a lot of his game is unquantifiable, separate to statistics, leadership, experience, what he offers the dressing room, also the big game management, how he plays there. You saw what he was like in the FA Cup final. He's also come off the back of an incredible Euros. Undeniably their number one still. He's 34 now though, so that's one to keep an eye on over the next year or so, I think. Centre backs then, Johnny Evans, Soyuncu, Fofana and Benkovic having come back off loan. They're their four out and out centre backs. Amarty can fill in there. I also believe that Ryan Bertrand could play as a left-sided centre back as part of a three. So I think that might be where he fills in from time to time. And perhaps some of the other fullbacks might be able to do so. The likes of Castagna might be able to fill in as a kind of sided centre back. Unfortunately, Fofana, bless him, broke his leg last night, so that's not good, because Fofana was the 5th best centre back in the league last year. Soyuncu the 17th, Evans the 14th. Now, Soyuncu obviously had his injury problems. Came back and played 19 at centre back though. He wasn't as good last year as he was in his debut season for me. Fofana was their best centre back statistically. Evans obviously offered a lot of the leadership qualities in that back line. I think unless they go and get another centre back, I can't see them playing with a back three for quite some time. I think even when Fofana's back, if they do want to play with a back three regularly, they need to go and get another centre back this summer. So I'm not sure what they'll do there. I suspect they won't get any. slash wingbacks when they play it. So this is a difficult one to quantify in lots of respects because of injuries. So right back then, you've obviously got Pereira, who is a cracking player. He's a cracking player. He only, and that, you know, right back in the back four and also right wing back when they play the back three. He only played 9 games though because of his injury problems. So, you know, it's hard to quantify his season, but having him back and fully fit is a great, you know, a great bonus for them this season. I really, really rate him. I think he's in the top 5 right backs in the league, definitely. They've also got Castagna, who played the majority of their games at right back, though I believe they signed him as a left back. So he played 17 games at right back last year and was the 13th best in the league. I thought he had a good opening season for me. I rate him. I think he is better on the left though. They've also got Luke Thomas there, who can play in as a right back at times, and they've got and James Justin can fill in there if he needs to be, even though they have more left backs, and Amati can fill in at right back as well, and he did so the odd time. But I don't think they'll be upgrading the right back position, and Pereira, now he's fully fit, should occupy that berth. Left back then, or left wing back, they've got Castagna, who he played 8 times there. He played 8 times, and that was primarily once Pereira came back. They had James Justin, who played 15 games at left back, and that was when Castagna was on the right. Thomas played 12 games, and you've now got Bertrand as well. So Justin played the majority of their games at left back last year, and he was the 3rd best in the league statistically. I have to take that with a pinch of salt because he only played 15, but he was really, really good. Really, really good. So they've got great fullback options, guys, for me. And whether they're looking at wing backs as well, equally as good. So for me, you're looking at Pereira, right back, Castagna, left back, as the primary options. And then, you know, Justin and Bertrand and Thomas as the, you know, they're probably like the 3 players that would be back up across 2 positions of right back and left back, so that they should get some game time as well, all of them. Centre mid then, so they've got Tielemans, Undide, so Tielemans, Undide, Dennis Pratt, now they've signed Sumare as well, they've got Hamza Chowdhury, they've got Nampalys Mendy, who himself can fill in at the back if needs be as well, in defence now and again, and Amati is primarily a defensive midfielder. Loads of options in there, plus Maddison of course as well. Ton of options. Wouldn't be surprised to see some departures there, if I'm honest, even though they play with 3 typically in the middle. So indeed he was the 5th best in the league last year in his position, as kind of more of a defensive midfielder. Fantastic player. I'd love Man United to sign him. I'd absolutely love United to sign Ndidi. Tielemans, cracking player. 12th in the league last year. And then Maddison was more forward. When they went to the 3-4-1-2, he was kind of playing behind the striker. So he's more of an attacking midfielder, and he was the 5th best in there. So great player. Rumours about him going to Arsenal. 2 things there. 1, how can Arsenal afford him? I can't see how Arsenal can afford to sign James Maddison. I honestly can't. For me, I can't see how you'd be looking at anything less than 60 million. Do they have that sort of money still after what they've spent? And I think for me, I think you're looking at more 70, 80. I really, really do. Leicester don't need to sell him, so why would they sell him for less than 70, 80? It's odd million. If Grealish has gone for 100, Maddison's worth 75 in my book, easy, 80 even. I don't think that would be a terrible price for him. So he stays for me. Not only that, no disrespect to Arsenal fans, Leicester are consistently finishing above Arsenal in the league. They've got a project there, stuff's going on at Leicester. Arsenal are still in a rebuild. I don't know why he'd want to go. I really don't. Sorry, that's just my opinion. I don't know why he'd want to go. So your starting 3 for me will be Ndidi, Tielemans and Maddison again. I mean, for me, that's 3 of the best. That's three of the best. You know, you look at the midfield 3s in the league. They could rival It's about keeping them all fit. I know Maddison had some problems with injury last year. It's about keeping them all fit. I like Pratt as a backup option, and Samari, I imagine this season will be back up, and that's a great option to have. So, you know, they're good there. They're good there. Okay, wings then. So, you know, at the minute for the wings, they've got options of Perez on the right, and Albrighton on the right. Albrighton's linked with going away to Burnley and other places. That right wing position, you know, Harvey Barnes could play there. Gezal could play there. They've not got a lot of options to play as an attacking mid right. We might, even with a back four, we might start to see Pereira play more as an attacking mid right, and that would suit him, I think, as well. Interesting. Left wing, Barnes has got that place on lock. You know, Perez last season, touching on the right wing again, Perez played there 7 times. Albrighton played there 10. So there's really not a lot, because the rest of the time they were playing with the wingbacks. There's really not a lot to base things on in terms of performance. On the left wing, however, Harvey Barnes played there 19 times and was the 9th best in the league. He was cracking. So he will hold that position down for sure. So if they play with a 4-3-3, I'd be interested to see whether maybe he might give Iheanacho a go on the right potentially, or will he look to push Pereira up? As I say, I don't think he wants to start with Perez or Albrighton regularly. I really don't. Maddison can fill in on the left wing, as we know. So yeah, we covered there. Or will they go and get a right winger? Maybe they will. Maybe their business isn't finished this summer yet. Could Patson Daka play out there? I don't know. I thought primarily he's a striker. Striking positions then. They've got Vardy, Iheanacho, and they've now got Daka as well. So they've got good options there. Really good options. Iheanacho played 16 times, but went on that spree. He was the 8th best striker in the league. Vardy played 31, and he was the 9th best striker. He is cracking on in age, but you know, they've got really good options there. So they are rumoured at the minute with Mateus Pereira. Now, if they are going to look with a 4-3-3, playing him on the right could work very, very well. Very, very well. And you know, for me, if I look at that team then and say, right, we're going 4-3-3, Schmeichel in net, probably Pereira right back, Evans, and then one of Soyuncu and Fofana, Castagna, and Didi, Tielemans and Maddison as the midfield 3, Barnes on the left, probably Mateus Pereira on the right, and then one of Vardy, Iheanacho or Daka. That's really good team, that, for me, with great options on the bench as well. Good squad options, you know, so you know, they've got a really good squad, I think. Problems for them then. So minor problem to have in mind. Schmeichel is 34 now, Vardy is 34, Evans is 33. You know, bringing in Daka, maybe this is what they're looking to do in terms of phasing out some of Vardy's playing time a little bit, but he's evergreen for now, isn't he? Played 31 times, did great again last season, but now they've got options for when he does start to get injured or run out of form, etc. With Evans, they've got Fofana and Soyuncu. I think we will see them, if not this summer, next summer, bring in another really good centre-back though. And Schmeichel, obviously that's going to be in the next year or two as well. So, for me, you know, the only thing that I would probably do for Leicester, because they've had a great window already, if they can, go and get someone on the right wing, and that should be their business done, for me. They've got the ability to challenge for top 4 again. However, it's very competitive again this year. It's probably more competitive to get in the top 4 this year than any year that I can remember. Not in terms of the sheer volume of teams, like we've had certain years where maybe you say 7 teams will challenge for top 4. I personally don't think that Arsenal will be challenging for top 4 this year on the current business that they've done. Spurs, maybe not either. Leicester being one of them. The problem for Leicester is, as great as their squad is, the four above them now are so advanced. City are a machine. Liverpool are going to come back with a bang. United have done great business this summer. And we know that Chelsea are in the market for a top striker, and they look much better with Tuchel, and they're the bloody Champions League champions. For Leicester to get ahead of one of those will be phenomenal for them, even though their squad this year is really good. But that's what I think about Leicester, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.